Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Georgia64 here, aka The Hypocritical Gamer, bringing you the second episode of my vlogs, I guess. I don't know what I'm gonna call them. Georgia64's vlogs is just sort of a tentative name. They might not even have a name. They might just be a category. Anyway, so basically, what this one is for was a suggestion from Viper Gaming 23. I didn't want to get your name wrong, so I went and looked just to make sure. Anyway, as for a suggestion, he said that I should do videos saying how I feel about the games I've been playing and like theories of where the game might be going or the series might be going. So I'm going to do that this video because, as I'm sure you guys probably have already seen it, the Kingdom Hearts episode, the Chain of Memories episode, a lot kind of happened right there at the beginning. We ran into Riku, and apparently he's not doing so great in the good guy department, but, you know, wondering where it's gonna go. So let's before I get into that specific part, let's talk first about Kingdom Hearts, the first game. Alright, now, as I'm sure you guys may have, I shouldn't put my hand on that, figured out, I'm a fan of Disney, so, you know, to have a game where you're not a Disney character yourself, but you go and you interact with Disney characters, to me, that sounds like a stroke of brilliance. However, for Kingdom Hearts, I've kind of noticed that there was a lack of interaction between the characters because it was pretty much, well, except for Donald and Goofy. You interacted all the time with Donald and Goofy. There were a few cutscenes where you talked and you got like some good... not necessarily good interaction, but you got some interaction. They talked to each other. I guess what I'm saying, the problem I had with it, with the first Kingdom Hearts, you know, I didn't notice this at first, but, you know, I've given it some more thought, and I've kind of noticed that you really don't get to see the reactions. Like when they were in Halloween Town, you didn't see the fact that, you know, this is a place they've never been to before, Sora, Donald, and Goofy. And, you know, they just take it in stride, and they're like, oh, this is just another adventure. You don't see, like, any wide eyes, like, what's going on here? And, you know, stuff like that. You know, the stuff that I kind of wanted to see. I wanted to see someone react to this crazy Disney stuff. Like, you know, I didn't, you know, you didn't see them really react to how hot it was in Agrabah. You didn't, you know, I guess the best reaction they had was probably Atlantica. You know, which was actually a stroke of brilliance because they were, you know, kind of having trouble swimming, I remember. And then they kind of bring it into the gameplay because they, you know, they have to, of course, change the mechanic of how you do things when in the water. So you kind of feel the stress of having to learn something new as a character and as a player, which was really cool. I just wish they would have put more of that interaction with the world and the characters in the other worlds they went to, you know. But again, that's more of a nitpick. This was the first game that they made that they did anything like this. I get it, I understand. Not everything is obvious in hindsight. However, something that I have noticed about Chain of Memories is that, what was I saying? Hold on a second. I remember. Okay, so basically, it's kind of like a do-over, you know, because, you know, while the stories were fun in Kingdom Hearts 1, in Chain of Memories, you know, it connects more with the theme of the game itself, which is really what you want to be going for. And they do a good job in this, but not only that, they also have Sora, Donald, and Goofy. Even if it's not voice acted, even if it's just text, they have them reacting and interacting much better with the characters. Like, I remember, Well, like in Halloween Town, again, Donald keeps on getting scared by Jack in that, in the opening scene. You know, what's something else? I think they actually might have mentioned the weather in Agrabah. I can't remember, though. I have to say that probably the opposite of the interaction when it comes to the world would be Atlantica in Chain of Memories, because they're all like, huh, look at this. We're breathing in the water, and, you know, they didn't even mention the fact that they weren't even swimming, you know. It's like, it feels like we're in air. It's like, they didn't say it felt like they were in air, they just said it felt like they were breathing air, you know. It's just like, whatever. You know, again, you kind of give and take, but still, it's also kind of funny what they did. But again, regardless of that, back to Kingdom Hearts 1, I still really liked, their attempt. And it was a very good first attempt. You know, but again, I have a lot of admiration for Square Enix. I know, a lot of people, give it crap nowadays for, like, Final Fantasy 13 and, basically, from what I've heard, most of the Final Fantasies after 10. Although I hear from some people that 12's good. Most people are under the impression that 14 is good. I don't know. I haven't played them. But, again, Square Enix has just been getting a lot of hate recently. But, because I've never played those games, I don't look at them that way. Because, the only game Square Enix games I've ever really played were Final Fantasy X and Super Mario RPG, and I love both of those games. Especially Super Mario RPG. I mean, that one is probably my childhood gem right there. But again, we're not talking about that. Square Enix, Kingdom Hearts 1, that's what we're talking about. Back on track. Anyway, so great first attempt, and the last, 25%, the last quarter, basically I'd have to say Neverland. Once they got to Neverland, because that's when the story really started to pick up, that's when the story got really good, really interesting. I was really behind pretty much everything they did. And after, some explanation from you guys about the stuff I was a little more uncertain about, I was... I sort of came around and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see that. Riku's character, again, I'm not a big fan of Riku's character. I mean, because I've only seen the negative side. Well, okay, I liked Riku at first. He kind of seemed like this cocky little brat guy in the beginning, which, I like the cocky guys. I think they're hilarious. Not because I think they're awesome, but just because I love it when I see people, sort of interact off of their cockiness. Anyway, so... yeah, but again, I sort of came around to the more evil choices that Riku was making because, even though the game didn't do a great job of explaining it, you're right, I can sort of follow that, which, I pretty much forgive the whole, Riku being bad out of nowhere. It's... again, it makes sense, it's just not explained well, but that's okay, So far in Chain of Memories, they've been doing a good job. Like with Riku all of a sudden being, evil again, it doesn't make sense, but they sort of, they put this character in the same position as the player. You do not know why Riku's all of a sudden acting like this, but neither does Sora. Nobody is really sure what is going on. And, is it that he's losing his memories too? Or is it really is Riku just pissed about something that Sora had to do with Naminé? I don't know, but, I am intrigued. What I'm hoping they don't do is, spoilers if you haven't watched any Naruto, by the way, what I'm hoping they don't do is make Riku sort of like this Sasuke thing. They sort of went in that direction in the first game, and I feel like, if they do this again, first of all, it's a rehash of the first game. But again, I don't... for all of you that like Sasuke, oh well, I don't like Sasuke. a boring character to me. Same with Orochimaru for that matter, but we're not talking about Naruto and the fact that I don't like certain villains. You know, we're talking about Kingdom Hearts, and again, I'm interested to see what happens, and I'm hoping they don't go the Sasuke route. I'm really wondering what's going to happen, and more than anything, I really want to know more about Naminé. I want to kind of know about her past and how, you know, she interacted with Sora and Riku. Because I don't think I mentioned this in a video, but I was kind of wondering, you know, Kairi she wasn't born in, like, Destiny Islands, right? She was from Hollow Bastion. So that means that, what if, like, Naminé, you know, left around the same time that Kairi showed up? You know, what if it was around that same time? Because, again, both their names have something to do with water, so there has to be some sort of connection there. That's kind of what I'm going for. I'm wondering, you know, what's going on? What's going to happen? You know, again, Chain of Memories has a great intrigue and mystery to it about the story that makes you want to keep on going to find out. I know what you guys are talking about with the story, and some of you were unsure about how I would feel about the gameplay. Gameplay's great. I love the gameplay. You get to do all these cool moves with the cards and everything. Never seen anything really like that. You know, I have to say that I probably prefer the hack and slash just because, you know, like the hack and slash from the first game. But again, the problem with the first game is that sometimes it felt like you were standing still a bit. Like you were fighting and that was great and everything, but it just felt like you were not really going anywhere. Like you had to always sort of move, hurry up and go there, you know. The combat was cool, but it doesn't seem as big as the combat in Chain of Memories, where you can do these like really cool moves, like that Quake move, where you like hit the ground with your Keyblade and it causes this earthquake, which is really cool, by the way. You know, again, one of my favorite things was in the first game was Sonic Blade, because you just moved around a ton, you just hit everything, which was great. And that's one of the reasons why I'm using it so much in this game, because it's the same thing. You know, except also in this game, you just get a ton more stuff. Like, Blizzaga is a ton of fun. I mean, if Blizzaga did the same thing in the first game that it does in this game, I apologize for not using it more. You know, first time playing, I'm not going to do everything right, you know. But yeah, I'm really interested to see where Chain of Memories goes. I'm wondering how it's going to lead into Kingdom Hearts 2. And that other game, the movie thing, that's a DS game, but you don't play it. That's on the 1.5 disc. That one. Yeah, it's a bunch of numbers, I don't know. Anyway, I'm wondering how it's going to connect to those two games, because again, I know that those two games are sort of like parallel. No, not. Was it parallel, or how does it go? Does it happen before Kingdom Hearts 2 or at the same time as Kingdom Hearts 2? I can't remember, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really interested to see how Chain of Memories leads up to those, just all the games, all the later on games. I'm wondering what the storyline of those next games are going to be. Is each game going to have their own villain? Or, you know, is it going to be like... Is it going to be kind of like Teen Titans, where, you know, the same villain just keeps on showing up and showing up? I'm talking about Slade, of course, when it comes to Teen Titans. And for Kingdom Hearts, I'm talking about Ansem. Will Ansem come back? Or is it, you know, going to just be a new villain every time? Right now, it seems like it's going to be a new villain. Because, you know, you have Axel and Larxene and Vexen the Vixen and the other guy that you met at first, who I really don't know that well. I don't know. Don't know what he looks like. Something to do with flowers. You know, I know that much because I remember seeing the rose petals. Plus, someone in the comments... Oh, Just a second. Alright, so it's Hidden Flame. Hidden Flame was the one telling me, you know, but that, you know, all these members of this, you know, organization. And I love how they don't even tell you the name of this organization. It's just the organization. It just, you know, it just makes it seem more mysterious. And that's what Chain of Memories has, a lot of mystery. Anyway, Hidden Flame was telling me about, you know... Sorry, a package was dropped off at my door. I think it was, it was probably the parts to the dishwasher that didn't get fixed yesterday. Anyway, where was I? Oh, that's right. Yeah, anyway, he was telling me about the mystery guy with, you know, all we know about him is that he's a mystery guy, and he has something to do with flowers, you know, which, you know, it seemed like this guy was probably the head honcho, and because, you know, he's the first one who you ran into. He, you know, was the tutorial guy. And, you know, and he's still the guy we haven't seen yet. But, you know, anyway. So, we have that guy, and we have Axel, who has fire, and, you know, the chakrams, and Larxene, who has, the lightning, and the kunai, and then we have Vexen the Vixen, you know, the mad scientist, who I don't think, you know... No, I don't think we know his weapon or element yet. But regardless, you know, it's really cool. Also, he said that apparently the secret boss I fought in Kingdom Hearts that had the same black coat, apparently he's part of the organization too, which, you know, is probably a safe assumption to make. It's pretty obvious. But, you know, I don't think I'd made that connection. And, you know, nobody get mad at him for spoilers because that's not a big deal. I don't really care about that. I probably would have made that assumption either way. And there wouldn't have been any oh shit moment when I realized, oh, this guy's part of the organization. No, Anyway, so, yeah, I'm hyped for it. I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm a fan of this series. I have to say, I am a fan, and it's definitely got me more interested. If nothing else, it got me more interested in Final Fantasy. Because, you know, I plan on playing more Final Fantasy games after 9. Not sure if I'll do 6 or 7 next, but it's going to be one of those two. Anyway, so... yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that for now. Yeah, so next episode... Oh, no. Before I tell you about what I'm going to talk about for the next one, let me tell you about... Okay, sorry, I had to think for a second. Let me tell you about what I plan on doing with how I feel about these games. With Final Fantasy IX, I'm only going to do... well, with any of the games I'm playing, I'm only going to do these how I feel about things, how I view things right now. I'm only going to do these videos, like, every time something big happens, like, a big focal point. I feel like running into Riku was probably a good focal point to start, you know, doing this. With Final Fantasy IX, I'm going to wait till I finish up Disc 2. With BioShock, I'm so close to the end, I might as well just wait till the end. Anyway, so... yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, next episode, next vlog that I'm going to be doing will be me talking about Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I'll talk about them both. The person who recommended that to me was Gedwe Ignacia. And yes, I do know what that's from. I have read those books, and I like them. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. So until next time, this has been Georgia64, aka the Hypocritical Gamer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.